call this meeting to order. This is the Livingston Parish Council regular meeting for October 11th, 2017. Could y'all please stand for the invocation? Stand.
Tonight, Brother Jeremy Glasscott from Coyo Baptist Church is going to lead us in invocation. I'd like for us to remember Mr. Darrell Jones tonight as well. He's having some health issues, so just remember him. Jeremy, you can come up.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you, God, for this day. An honor to be here in this meeting tonight. Father, tonight we lift Mr. Darrell up to you. God, we lay him at your feet and ask you to touch his body, God. Father, tonight we lift this great parish we live in up to you and the council members, the leaders, Father, Mr. Perilou, Sheriff Jason Ard. God, we ask that you would be with each and every person in our parish, God. And Father, we pray that you would have your will and your way in this meeting tonight. Father God, we thank you for everything you've done for us and especially sending your son Jesus to die for us. Father, we love you and thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Mr. Talbert, would you please lead us in the pledge in your nice jersey there?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey Gary, how did you get that jersey?
I'm paying off a bet.
You want to find it? You look very nice. Look very nice, Gary.
He does.
You want to add something to that, Chairman?
Son, you're supposed to stand.
I'll add a little bit.
I'm gonna. What's that?
I'll add a little bit.
What's that? Go ahead. Would you like
Well,
that?
I would like to say I think Live Oak did play a good game. And Gary was very supportive of his team during and a good sport about losing. He was optimistic because he said about halftime that he felt like their quarterback was really hitting our defense really hard. So he thought that our defense would be tired of hitting his quarterback, so he thought they was going to come back and win the second half. But he took it like a man, and Gary, I appreciate you wearing that jersey supporting Dennis Springs today, buddy.
Let me tell you what I want.
Yeah, what was
The score, I don't know, Mr. Sam, but it was a butt.
It was a
I'm not sure the score.
I think it was like 31-6.
I tell you what, them boys got a little more than
Hey guys, now that we're on that topic, I just want to let everybody know that Albany Junior High beat Denham Springs Junior High this past week, 34-8. So Gary, I mean, you know, I just want to.
Oh, I understand. Albany got a good team. All them good teams have got someplace to go.
Look, I'm just proud of all these guys that go out and play these sports, you know. They got all
So, okay.
I want to say
just
this.
go ahead, Mr. Harris.
About
The football
games and all. Well, I was supposed to have me a Live Oak jersey tonight, but that didn't work out. And then John gets all over me and said, how you going to explain it that you're going to wear a Live Oak jersey? I said, it's plain and simple. I said, I'm a Denham fan, went and graduated from Denham Springs. I said, I'm a Live Oak fan, I'm a Walker fan. Any school in the parish, that's who I'm a fan of.
Do you like Scooter? Except he went to every school in the parish.
They wouldn't keep
No
me
matter
over
who the
very
Scooter,
long.
no matter who he's talking to, he went to that school. I'm from here. I'm from here. All right.
Springfield plays Live Oak Wednesday night in volleyball, but me and Gary is scared of wearing his spandex.
I guarantee y'all don't want to see me in them shorts. That's all I can tell you.
So I tell y'all another point here is that
But we know who's going to win that.
our council clerk is sick, so she lost her voice. So I'm going to have to keep referring to Miss Angie too. So at some point I'm going to keep talking to her, and she's not going to talk back. So just letting y'all know, out of habit, I will do that.
I ain't going to make a comment about that.
Well, that's good. Just let everyone. I'm sorry, Miss Angie. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Ard?
Here.
Mr. Watson?
Here.
Mr. Girlinghouse?
Here.
Mr. King?
Here.
Mr. Harris?
Here.
Mr. Talbot?
Here.
Mr. Lovell?
Here.
Mr. Avers?
Here.
Mr. Madden?
Here.
I'd like to remind everyone, if you have your cell phone, please turn it off or put it on mute. I just had to do mine myself. And this is a public meeting, so if you have any input on any item that comes forward, just raise your hand and we'll recognize you. You could come forward and speak, give your name and address, and say what you have to say. So, item 7's presentations. Mr. Taylor here, or no? Mr. Andrews. Is it? Oh, okay, so we're going to go, we'll move that then. Okay. Well, I was going to, yeah, we can do that. We'll move them there. So, Mr. Sam, this is the, they want to speak to item A2 and A4 on the addendum, which was the ratification of the, we're going to go to A2 and A4, guys. Ratification of the amended cooperative endeavor agreement between the Livingston Parish Assessor and the Livingston Parish Council.
We get the president.
So, are you going to do that? Go ahead.
That's what I need y'all to do, right?
I know. I'm trying to put you at the front.
We worked it all out and got it worked out, and the judge and all has signed off on it. They wanted to make sure that it was stated in there that they're paying a 33 1/3 per share of their portion of what they've agreed to with the assessor on the building. And so we needed to spell that language out, and we've had Mr. Moody put it together. And so now everybody's in agreement, and I just need y'all to ratify that and authorize me to enter into the agreement with the changes.
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Avery, second by Mr. Ard. Any discussion from the audience? Any further discussion from the council?
So we outlined that the building services won't cost more than $25,000 annually?
Yeah, that's our portion of what we typically pay for the assessor, and then the additional funds that he's worked out with the three parties that's doing the other space.
Okay, I didn't know we were paying that much on this.
On average, that's on average.
That's on average?
Yeah.
Okay. So our cap is $25,000 no matter what?
Right.
Any further discussion? Ms. Angie, would you call the vote? What? You want to do them separately or do them together?
Mr. Ard? Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Mr. Wasson?
Yes.
Mr. Burlinghouse?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
Mr. Lobel?
Yes.
Mr. Avery?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Thank you, council.
Thank you. Want to go ahead and do A4 now? This is Mr. Sam, right? Would it be?
A4 is Mr. Jared.
Oh.
A3.
I
I don't think he needs to be here for that. No.
Yeah, A4.
What, you want me to speak?
Yes, if you would.
What that is an annual canvass of voter registration rolls that the Registrar of Voters does. And Jared Andrews came to us saying that the Secretary of State is requiring the governing authority to sign off on the paperwork. This is something new that they're doing. We need to adopt a resolution to authorize the parish president to sign the precinct survey forms.
Okay. So it's a resolution to authorize the parish president to sign Part 2 of the precinct survey forms received in the Livingston Parish Registrar of Voters Office following the 2017 annual canvass of the voter registration rolls. I need a motion.
I so move.
Motion by Mr. Wascom, second by Mr. Keene. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, now let's go to item 8. Adoption of the minutes for the September 28th, 2017 regular meeting of the council. Pretty straightforward. Need a motion? Motion by Mr. Mack, I'm sorry. Second by Mr. Lobel. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Item 9, adoption of the minutes from the September 14th Board of Review, September 14th, 2017 Board of Review. I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Ard, second by Mr. Avery. Any discussion from the audience? Any further discussion from the council? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Item 10, and the parish president already spoke to that, so item 11, Office of Homeland Security Emergency Preparedness, Mr. Harrell. My very good friend, Mr. Harrell.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. I'm going to start off again by telling every one of you I love you, and I'm going to challenge each one of you. And it's a challenge. He said, look to the councilman next to you and tell him you love him. We're blessed.
We are. I got a lawyer next to me. You're asking a lot. I've got a lawyer over here. And come on. All right, I love you guys.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. I don't know, I don't have my agenda, so which one's first on the list, Mr. Chairman? Thank you.
Let's see here.
The North River Road project.
That's right.
Okay, yeah. I'm here seeking a resolution authorizing the parish president to go into a contract with DOTD to finally get the North River Road Bridge completed.
Is the city limit line the ditch that bridge crosses?
Close to it.
It's close, but it's not center line.
So,
I don't think it's center line. I think
No.
it's on the north end.
About 30 feet.
okay.
But that's our bridge.
You should know that.
Well, I do know, and I told him that. It's not, that bridge is outside the city limits. That's why the city didn't get involved with it. But I want you, Mr. Harold, I would like to reiterate for people watching television tonight who live in the Denham Springs area that have just really frustrated that bridge has been out for a long time. I mean, I know it's, but I want to give them some hope tonight that you say probably December that bridge will be let out for contract.
That's what they're saying.
So that bridge will be open from people coming from Watson or North Denham up there down. They want to hit River Road to go to Florida. They can use that bridge right there.
The question is that intersection when you're heading toward Watson from Denham and you dead end into 16. That's the most dangerous intersection around right there.
It is.
It's pretty bad.
I agree with you.
You know, that really ought to be a no left turn there. That's a dangerous place.
You know, we've had no accidents coming out of that road since
So we put a
over a
roundabout
year.
there.
December work good.
DOTD is saying December. I tried to get them to move it into November. They just have too much on the books. They hope
Okay.
to do it in December.
Okay.
So let's do this. Let's authorize the work on this bridge. How about
I'll
that?
make the motion.
All right. Motion by Mr. Wascom.
Sorry, Mr.
Second by Mr. King. Miss Angie, would you call, I'm sorry, any discussion from the audience? Any further discussion from the council? Nope. Miss Angie, would you call the vote?
Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Mr. Wascom?
Yes.
Mr. Girlinghouse?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
Mr. Lobel?
Yes.
Mr. Avery?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
Item B.
And this one is the Satsuma Road Bridge. That has been about a 6-year ordeal with hazard mitigation funding. It's finally happening, and Diamond B was the construction company that won the bid, and we're asking again for a resolution authorizing the president to sign.
Make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Ard, second by Mr. Harris. Any further discussion from the audience? Anything from council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, Mr. Harrell.
Thank y'all. Have a good evening.
You too.
Well, have a good weekend.
We're going to skip to item 18. We're going to let Mr. Sam come up and do his thing. Come on up, Mr. Sam. Go ahead, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item 18, Department of Public Works. This is a resolution to adopt the annual certification for the compliance with the State of Louisiana Off-System Bridge Replacement Program. This is something we have to do every year in order to stay in compliance, so they play a big part in inspecting several of our bridges in our parish. We want to continue that effort. And we need a recommendation in order to continue from the council.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Ard, second by Mr. Harris.
That'll work.
Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? Ms. Angie, would you call the vote, please?
Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Mr. Wasson?
Yes.
Mr. Girlinghouse?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
Mr. Lobel?
Yes.
Mr. Avery?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Next item, Mr. Sam.
You want to go on to the planning part of it first?
If you want to do the addendum first, we can.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, all right.
I want to thank you guys for letting us get the opportunity for Mr. Brandt and Mr. Keenan to join us tonight. I wanted to kind of give y'all a face with a name. These guys work with DHH, one on the state level, and Mr. Keenan is the manager here at Livingston Parish, and they're going to start, I guess, upholding some of our laws in place already that, has to deal with resubbing property. And I just wanted y'all to know those guys and kind of ask a few questions So you'd kind of be familiar with the process that they're fixing to take on. It's something that's always been in place, that's never was enforced.
This is two guys in the back that's eating our food.
No step forward, that's good.
Moving forward, that's good.
Gentlemen, just here to announce, really, Louisiana Department of Health and Parish, with Sam, and Parish Planning Commission and permitting are working together to really protect public health. That's a primary goal. And with that said, we are looking at resubs, as Sam put it, but really, if you look at the Louisiana Administrative Code, subdivisions as a whole, whether small or large. And if you looked in the ordinance, Article 4, 158, I believe, check my notes, 1358A, that refers to getting Louisiana Department of Health approval on these, even the small subdivisions that Sam's referring to. We want to make it an easy transition. Sam and I have been communicating and working through, just to announce that it is a work in progress. We've been talking about things and how they could change. I know there may be questions tonight, and we would try to answer those questions to the best of our ability. However, we don't want to give definitive answers if it may change in a week. So it's a work in progress. With that said, there are a few requirements. I don't really need to, or I don't feel the need to go into the details of what we are going to accomplish, just rather announce that we are going to work together on these re-subdivisions to make it easy for your developers, easy for the surveyors that are involved, and again, mainly protecting the people of Livingston Parish.
Is this going to affect all resubs? So like if I got an acre and I'm cutting in 2 lots, it's got to go through y'all for approval, or is it just
Just 2 lots?
Yes, sir.
Minor resubs, Gary. It's probably going to just entail just minor resubs
I got a question.
without an ordinance.
So anything that would fall under the minor resub deal is going to have approval from DHA?
Yes.
And that's mainly
A
for
lot of
sewer.
them,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry, Mr. Keaton could probably answer this better, but a lot of them be, and I don't want to say rubber stamp, but I mean, when you've got parish roads, it's back up, they've got ditches. They're more or less looking at the water path, of what they're going to do with the sewer, when it comes out of the pipe. And if it's on a parish road, it's probably going to be real easy to identify it, because you have these ditches in place. Our problem is when you get to these resubs in the back of the property, you really don't have a place for the sewer.
When you end up with these 40-foot right-of-ways running back there, and there's no...
Indeed.
And people call you guys for stopped up sewer. And we have to try to go out there and unstop it, but we don't have that right away to do that.
Question.
They're going to put that in place before this happens.
Okay.
So it'll make
Before it gets this far.
I don't quite understand exactly how we're going to do that. I mean, just trying to get educated here. It's the first I'm hearing of this, but is this a state law that's coming out that you're going to be required to go out and approve that? Or are we just trying to head off and prevent something that shouldn't happen from happening, because once it gets to that point, you wouldn't be able to get your electricity turned on? Because to the best of my knowledge, at this particular moment in time, that you subdivide the property, and then you go and you construct or you place your mobile home on that property, and then when it comes time to turn the electricity on, you cannot get your parish permit until after you guys go out and approve whatever type of sewer system is required there. Because, I mean, at this particular moment in time, Sam, I think we all know that it's not written into the current, minor subdivision requirements for this to have approval, for them to go out and do that type of thing. So where are we talking about this whole thing coming together?
This is coming down from the state level, Shane. We don't have anything to do with it.
Okay.
This is coming down from the state level. This is just something that's never been looked at.
So there's a state statute that requires us to do this.
It's actually in the parish ordinance also.
It's not in the minor resub ordinance.
It's not in the minor resub ordinance. So is it in the permitting process before you turn the electricity on?
Subdivision.
Okay, so
but let me back up just a minute and quote the code, Louisiana Administrative Code, Title 51. A lot of people think of subdivisions as a noun. The easiest way to put it, that's a subdivision. But if you read the code, it's a verb. And when you subdivide property, and that's how we're using the word subdivision, when you subdivide property, any lot, any subdivision of one piece of property into 2 or more, any one of those lots less than 3 acres, that would need state approval.
And the main thing we're going to be looking at on those lots is that they have drainage for sewage, because we're wanting to head off. We don't want the public to come in, do an application, then be held up because they don't have any access for proper drainage. So by us looking at it ahead of time, it'll head all that off, so when they come in, there won't be any holdups, them calling councilmen, calling us, because they don't have any right-of-ways for drainage. And that's basically what...
I don't want to drag your meeting out. I'd certainly like to have a side meeting with you guys, but I always thought that once it was treated in the current systems that we allow people to purchase and put down, that it was good to go to the ditch, as long as it had the ability to flow to natural drainage. Is that not the case?
But what we're trying to do is eliminate the chance for them to come in and apply for a sewer permit, and then one of our sanitarians goes out and does the site evaluation and decides that they can't put a sewer system on that piece of property. So by us going through this approval process of these minor subdivisions, and all subdivisions for that matter, whether it's us or engineering, that we don't have that chance, because I've given a stamp and said that you can actually put an individual sewage system on every single one of those lots.
Great. So what in the current law right now today, what size lot can you have per, and what, I mean, can you tell me?
The parish is a little more strict, so you guys are at 16, but the state code for individual mechanical systems is 12,000 square feet.
What code is that y'all said the subdivisions of urban 7 now? What's the article and the number? You quoted you said
well, it's
law
something.
It's so I mean there's obviously an act somewhere with so it's revised statute what? What's the revised statute that says a subdivision? I mean, when you quoted a revised
verb and a noun is what you're referring to? There isn't one. That's my terminology.
No, I understand. But what was the statute that you subdivision?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You said was a verb instead of a noun.
I didn't bring the code with me. I'd have to reference the code.
Okay.
And is it fall into a different category if it's better than 3 acres a lot? Y'all made a 3 acre comment there a minute ago.
Actually, Sam and Natalie and I sat and looked at a few of them, and I was able to just tell them that this doesn't even need to come to our office because it's greater than 3 acres. There was a subdivision of, I think, 2 lots, 1 lot into 2 lots, and both were larger than 3 acres. And actually, she brought me several this past week.
Okay.
So basically, we're just going to be following state law.
Yes.
Okay.
And you guys are here to
all right, that's
get
fine.
that done. And then,
that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anything further? All right, that's fine. I don't think we need to make a vote on this, so thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Sam?
And Shane, just to comment, if you want to get together with them,
I would love to do that, because it sounded like to me it was a little bit more than just following state law. It sounds like to me that we were trying to get them involved on the approval process of a minor subdivide in advance.
Right.
And so that is like extremely important to a lot of folks in this parish.
Absolutely.
I definitely think that we need to.
And like he said, this is work in progress. This is not something that's going to start in the morning. This is something that and that's the reason why we're here tonight. Right. That's the reason why I asked him to come tonight. So you guys can put a face with a name.
That's right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank y'all.
All right. We want to make it. Okay. Let's see. Next on the agenda is Evangeline Trace to accept the road and improvements into the maintenance system and release the $201,000 maintenance bond off the Buddy Ellis Road.
All right. So I need a motion to accept the roads and improvements into the maintenance system and to release the $201,915.26 maintenance bond.
Do you want to do that, Ms. Sandy, in 2 different motions, or do you want to?
We can do it in one, please.
If there's no objection.
Motion? Motion by Mr. Averett. Second by Mr. Ard. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? Miss Angie, would you call the vote, please?
Mr. Ord?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Garlinghouse?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
Mr. Lovell?
Yes.
Mr. Avery?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Item 20, Mr. Sam.
Now, do you want to go ahead, did you release the bond?
We did them both
You
together.
accepted the road and released the bond?
Yeah, we did both at one time.
The first on the agenda in the planning department is Foxgrove. That's been deferred. We'll go on to the next commercial development, which is Juban Square, preliminary site plan. It's a recommendation of the Livingston Parish Planning Commission to approve the preliminary site plan for the Juban Square project. This is on the east side of Juban Road. This is the development right there off of Juban and Castle.
I make the motion.
Motion by Mr.
That
Wascom,
is in the John Washington district.
second by Mr. King. And that's just, I see there's going to be like a shopping, like a strip mall type area?
Yes.
Okay. Just,
No, this is before the strip mall. This is right next to Castle Road.
gotcha.
They
All
haven't
right.
started it yet.
All right, so they got the little strip mall thing going in right now. All right.
Yeah, that's already been done.
Any discussion from the audience? Yeah. Anything further from the council? Ms. Angie, would you call the vote, please?
Mr. Ord?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Garlinghouse?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
Mr. Lovell?
Yes.
Mr. Avery?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is also a commercial development. This is A-plus mini storage. This is Mr. Bubba Harris's district. It is a recommendation of the Livingston Parish Planning Commission to approve the preliminary site plan for A-plus mini storage.
I went and met with the gentleman that's doing that development a couple weeks ago, I guess, before he even come before y'all. And I think it's a real good deal.
Yeah, he told me you made it all down.
Yeah, and it's just south of the Dollar General right there. So it's already a commercial area. So I'm going to make a motion to go ahead and accept this.
Motion by Mr. Harris. Need a second? Second by Mr. Mack. Thank you all the way down there. Thank you for raising your hand too. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? Ms. Angie, would you call the vote, please?
Mr. Ord?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Garlinghouse?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
Mr. Lovell?
Yes.
Mr. Avery?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you, Mr. Sam.
That's all you had?
A3? Oh, he's right. They're right, Mr. Sam. A3, authorization of Alvin Fairburn and Associates to advertise for bids for the construction of the Dunn Road culvert replacement.
Okay. That's on the last, that's on the an addendum.
Yes, sir.
I thought we had already done this, but I thought we wanted to be in safe going.
Oh, we did
Made the
too.
motion last time. So we would like a recommendation for Alvin Fairburn and Associates to advertise for bids for the construction of the Dunn Road culvert replacement.
A second.
This is a deal that,
Motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Wascom.
this is being paid for out of the road fund, right?
Yes, sir.
No state money involved in it at all.
No grants, no nothing, just out of our budget.
Anything further from the audience? Anything? Now, anything further from Gary?
You asked that same question when we did it last time.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to double up?
At least I'm consistent on what I want.
You
Well,
are
this,
consistent.
indeed.
This is true.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Sam.
Let's go ahead and do the addendums, if you want to do that. A4, authorize the parish president to sign Part 2. We did that.
We just did that.
A5,
Yeah, that's us.
adopt a resolution to increase speed limit from 25 to 35 on Perkins Road, location in council districts number 2 and 3. Gary, the Frog Talbot, and Maurice, the Scooter King.
Imagine that.
One's named after a amphibian, the other one's named after a inanimate device.
You know, we don't know when the speed limit was moved from 35 to 25. It is in the council book as a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. However, the sign was just changed last week. And as soon as the sign was changed, we started getting calls as to why did we lower the speed limit? So I don't remember it being on the agenda, so we did some investigation and realized that it should have been done a long time ago. It just didn't happen. And it got done, and now everybody's upset. So we're going to raise it back to 35.
And when he says a long time ago, we mean a long time ago.
Long time ago. I mean, to the point that they know it's on the book at 25, but they don't know when it was moved to 25. And the signs just got changed last week, and as soon as they got changed, phones started blowing.
I think apparently that road, Perkins Road, had gotten really horrible for a long time, and the people probably asked for it to be lowered way back when. Well, it's not as bad as it was back then, so now it's definitely a 35, and they do 65, so I mean, you know.
It's just,
We know some places like that.
It sits only part of the roads in my district. I'm called Scooter and said, you want to raise it to your side too? And he said, yes. So that's why we're on there together.
So we ask for y'all to support us on that.
Fair enough, so I got a motion
I'll make the motion.
by Mr. Talbot, second by Mr. King.
At least we know we're getting 2 votes on this thing.
This is true. Any discussion from the audience? If you don't care, we're going to raise it back to 35, I guess. Any further discussion from the council? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All
Thank
right.
y'all.
A6, right? Now, this is the one, said adopt the resolution to reschedule the November 23rd meeting, which is the week of Thanksgiving, to the 21st, which is on the Tuesday. So essentially, that's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to move the meeting to the Tuesday when, instead of, can't do it Thursday because that's Thanksgiving Day. Can't do it Wednesday because they're off, and that's also, we're going to move it to Tuesday.
It's a great idea.
You like that?
I think so too.
Thank you.
Most places, they leave half a day anyway. So.
Yeah. Motion by Mr. Mack, second by Mr. Averitt.
We don't at my place.
Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? That does it for the addendums, right?
Yep.
All right. Let's go back. 21, introduction of an ordinance to place a 3-way stop sign at Glen Ellis Road and Lazy Acres Road. Mr. Averitt.
Yes, they have a problem with the speeders on Glen Ellis Road, and that's one way they can help stop it. So we're going to put a 3-way stop there.
All right.
Then you can have stop sign runners too.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
And I need a second? Second. Motion by Mr. Averitt, second by Mr. Wascom. Any discussion from the audience? Okay. Anything further from the council? Ms. Angie, would you read by title?
This would be proposed ordinance 17-42, an ordinance to amend and reenact section 10-9A, stop signs, 3-way stop of the Code of Ordinances in and for the parish of Livingston to add an intersection at Glen Ellis Road and Lazy Acres Road. The public hearing will be October 25th, 2017 at 6 p.m.
Ms. Angie, would you call the roll?
Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Mr. Wascom?
Yes.
Mr. Girlinghouse?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
Mr. Lovell?
Yes.
Mr. Averitt?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Item 22, adopt a resolution to reduce the speed limit from 25 to 15 on Old River Road in Marpaw. Mr. Lobell, evidently with the 10 miles an hour we took from over there, giving them. Yeah, all right.
Some of the folks on that road wanted to lower it. They got some signatures on a petition, so maybe next week we'll be getting a call to bump it back up.
15? How long is that road?
It's not real long. Well, it's got a T. It goes 2 ways. So, but the folks there said it's
15 slow.
But you know, people always fudge on that a little bit.
Well, sure.
And that is a gravel road.
Yeah. So.
And the houses are right up close to it.
Yeah.
So.
Kids are playing on
Yes.
it.
It might keep some of the dust down if they'll do it.
Yeah, you got to cross the bridge and make
Actually,
it.
getting water meters.
Yeah.
So is that a motion?
Yep.
Motion by Mr. Lobell, second by Mr. Mack. Thank you for raising your hand again. Anything further from the audience? Anything further from you guys? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Great. All right. We did this one, we did that one. Item 23. This is the waiver, guys. Request for a waiver in intended for the allowance of permitting due to restrictions of the LP Ordinance 17-22, Section 13-46.1, prohibitions and restrictions of use for mobile home manufactured homes to be placed in named subdivisions for the intent of on-site custom-built single-family homes. We got one request this time around. Patrick Dutch?
Yeah.
Ville Estates, 24627 Connie Drive, Dental Springs, Louisiana, 70726. And this is Mr. Averett's district. So they just requested, nobody where you went and checked it out? All right.
Yeah, it's more than just one.
All right. I need a motion. Motion by Mr. Averett. Second by Mr. Ard. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Item 20, oh, nope, let's go back. Yeah, we're going to do the public hearing. All right. Sorry, we skipped all around. We are now entering a public hearing. If you have anything to discuss on any of these items, we can just raise your hand. I'll recognize you, bring it to the front, and you can say. Item 12, public hearing and adoption of LP Ordinance Number 17-36, Flood Mitigation Assistance Program, acquisition of 32796 Cypress Drive, Springfield, Louisiana, 70462. Any discussion? Could you read by title?
This is proposed ordinance 17-36, an ordinance to acquire movable property for the parish of Livingston pursuant to the Flood Mitigation Assistance Program, project number FMA-PJ-06-LA-2016-016, Livingston Parish. The homeowner address for the record is 32796 Cypress Drive, Springfield, Louisiana, 70462.
Thank you. No further discussion. I need a motion.
Close public hearing?
No, we'll public hearing open.
Well, no, I'm sorry. You either have to do all the public hearings, and then
all right,
close them, or do them separately.
Okay.
Do all the public.
Well, I mean, I know, but I was. But I'm not doing that. So, okay, the public hearing is now closed. Then we got a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Ard, second by Mr. Wascom. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? Ms. Angie, would you call the vote?
Mr. Ord?
Yes.
Mr. Wascom?
Yes.
Mr. Garlinghouse?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Talbert?
Yes.
Mr. Lobel?
Yes.
Mr. Avery?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
I now call the public hearing back open for item 13, public hearing and adoption of Livingston Parish Ordinance Number 17-37, Flood Mitigation Assistance Program, acquisition of 1226 South River Road, Dental Springs, Louisiana, 70726. Read by title.
This is proposed ordinance number 17-37, an ordinance to acquire movable property for the parish of Livingston pursuant to the Flood Mitigation Assistance Program, project number FMA-PJ-06-LA-2016-016, Livingston Parish. For the record, the homeowner address is 1226 South River Road, Denham Springs, Louisiana, 70726.
Any discussion from the audience? Public hearing is now closed. Any discussion from the council? If not, I need a motion and a second to motion by Mr. Avery, second by Mr. Lobel. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. All right. I forgot to close the public hearing.
You did.
All right.
You did it right.
We're now re-entering a public hearing. Item 14, public hearing and adoption of Livingston Parish Ordinance 17-38, Flood Mitigation Assistance Program, acquisition of 20776 Highway 22, Marpaw, Louisiana, 70449. Ms. Andrew, would you read by title?
This is proposed ordinance number 17-38, an ordinance to acquire movable property for the parish of Livingston pursuant to the Flood Mitigation Assistance Program, project number FMA-PJ-06-LA-2016-016, Livingston Parish. For the record, the homeowner address is 2776 Highway 22, Marpaw, Louisiana, 70449.
Thank you, Ms. Angie. Any discussion from the audience? Public hearing is now closed. Any discussion from the council? If not, I need a motion. Motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Ard. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Now we're entering a public hearing. Public hearing on adoption of LP ordinance number 17-39 to allow the Livingston Parish Planning Commission members a per diem not to exceed $100 for their attendance at meetings for a maximum of 24 meetings as per HB numbers 12, Act number 20 of the 2017 regular session of the Louisiana Legislature. Would you read by title, please?
This is proposed ordinance 17-39, an ordinance amending section 13-48 Parish Council Planning Commission of the Code of Ordinances of Livingston Parish, Louisiana, by adding Part H to allow the members of the Livingston Parish Planning Commission to receive per diem not to exceed $100 for attendance at meetings for a maximum of 24 meetings per year.
Thank you, Ms. Angie. Anything from the audience? Public hearing is now closed. Anything further from the council? If not, I need a motion. Is that a motion, Mr. Harris? Motion by Mr. Harris, second by Mr. King. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right. We're now ending a public hearing. Public hearing for adoption of LP ordinance number 17-40. Place a three-way stop at Willowwood Street and Hazelwood Drive and a four-way stop at Jimmy Drive and Millstone Drive. That's a Woodley Crossing. You read by title, Ms. Angie.
This is proposed ordinance number 17-40, an ordinance to amend and reenact sections 10-9 stop signs of the Code of Ordinances in for the Parish of Livingston, to add the intersections of Willowwood, Hazelwood, and Jimmy and Millstone. I don't know if we need to say for the record the three-way stop is Willowwood and Hazelwood, and the four-way stop is Jimmy and Millstone.
Anything further from the audience? Public hearing is now closed. Motion by Mr. Avery. Second by Mr. Mack. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? We're now re-entering a public hearing. Public hearing for adoption of LP ordinance 17-41, creation of the Livingston Parish Mosquito Abatement Board. Would you read by title, please?
This is proposed ordinance number 17-41, an ordinance providing for the creation of a mosquito abatement district and establish a board in the parish of Livingston, state of Louisiana, comprising all that territory in the parish as set out herein and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
Thank you. The discussion from the audience. Finally, we got some Friday the audiences. Thank you.
My name's Michelle Gibbs. I live in Holden. I don't know, how many of y'all even know me or who don't. I drove a school bus for several years, over 14 steady, full-time for the parish. I had to medically retire due to the spray from the mosquito abatement. I don't know how many of y'all know the chemicals that are even involved. Do any of y'all know the chemicals that are sprayed from mosquito abatement? Can y'all even name one?
No, I don't think we can.
One of the main chemicals that are used is called diabom. Diabom is also known as an organophosphate, also known as Agent Orange. Do any of y'all know what that is? Mm-hmm. It's diluted down, as they call it, and put into that chemical that they spray in the mosquito abatement. They did not know that that's what I was sprayed with. It was found by an infectious disease doctor while I was in the hospital almost dying. It took an infectious disease doctor to find out what I was dying from. I'm medically disabled for the rest of my life, and I'm whittling away. I was 43. It could have happened to anybody. It wound up happening to me. It killed all my farm animals that we had. Farm animals all around us died. We had neighbors that harvested bees. If you look up, I know many of you have worked in plants. Some of y'all look around that I see some names that are on the thing tab. I don't know if you recognize me, but you knew my husband Mike Gibbs. and when I didn't realize that that was you until I seen the name, that's worked in the plants, what an MSDS sheet is. If you pull the MSDS on the chemical diabomb, it tells you that that is a chemical that is not supposed to be sprayed in rural areas. It's not supposed to be sprayed over waterways. It's not supposed to be sprayed near animals, near anything that it's being sprayed around. They try to say that they dilute it down enough, but when you take a chemical, whether you dilute it down or not, would you take a bottle of Clorox and just take this much and dilute it down in water, and over time continue to give that water to your child? It doesn't matter how much you dilute it, if you continually give it to somebody, eventually it harms them. I just happened to be outside when they did the aerial spray the final time, along with my animals. Our property line was on the property line when they did the aerial spray. I realize what y'all are trying to bring back is the truck spray, but me and my body, I was told that if I'm reinfected, it will kill me if I'm even touched by the chemical again. I can't be within miles of it. I live in this parish. I've been here my whole life. So how are y'all going to explain to my neighbors within a 5-mile radius that y'all can't spray there because y'all are putting out a chemical that's deadly? I understand that y'all think that doing it will save somebody from West Nile virus, but I can prove to y'all scientifically, because I've done my study since all this has happened. West Nile virus was here long before these scientists have come up with their newfangled things to say we have West Nile virus. Just like all the other viruses, just like the cancers, just like everything else that we have has been here long before. We just didn't know what it was. And we've dealt with it long before then too. My husband was told to his face with my father, who's sitting in this audience, by a Department of Agriculture guy and one of your mosquito abatement people, that if one person died, talking about me, and they saved 3 people from West Nile virus, they did their job. What if that one person was one of your children or grandchildren? Would you want one of your children or grandchildren playing in the streets when one of those trucks went by spraying, knowing what those chemicals were coming out and what was in those chemicals? Those are not chemicals that are healthy. Those weren't chemicals that they can live with playing outside. They say they come out after dusk. I don't know about your kids, but I know when we were kids, we played after dusk. We were outside after dark. We sat out on the porch with our families. I would hope today y'all would still be sitting outside with your grandchildren or your children and them with their children. So before y'all vote on bringing this board back and bringing this chemical back just to please voters that y'all are worried about that y'all might lose in a district, talk to them about these chemicals first before you even decide to open up this board. Or think about the chemicals y'all are going to use. Because have y'all even decided, would it be the same chemicals that y'all were going to use previously?
Well, that's the point of the board.
The board is for us to analyze what we're going to do in the future, if we're going to do anything.
What we're going to ask the voters to approve us to do. If the people say no, or if we find something we don't like what you're talking about, we won't go forward with it. That's why we're making us the board, not just a board off on there. We're going to have oversight of everything.
All 9 council members are going to be on the board.
See, the public was not made aware before. Federal law regulates that they were supposed to be made aware when an aerial spray or even a spray by truck, when those chemicals, especially any organophosphate, is put into the air, when that is made when that was put to their vicinity.
I think we were all surprised by the aerial spraying because I didn't know it was happening.
Exactly.
And they bombarded my yard several times.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody knew that was coming.
No.
And if anybody had chickens,
They all died. I know.
That's exactly
I got
what
a
it
friend
was
that
from.
lost 200-something chickens on Walker North.
I think the board isn't necessarily to bring back the abatement, because it's really more to get educated on the science itself. You know, I'm particularly not really, I'll just go ahead and say it, I'm not really for bringing it back. If for no other reason, because the voters have said twice, we don't want it. But I'm willing to open a dialogue so I can be educated, because there might be new science involved. There might be a new thing involved. We're not, and I want it to be clear, I want it to be to the public that we're not bringing back abatement. We're not even asking for them to vote for it. We're just asking to form a board so we can be formally educated on the status of how abatement is done today. I don't imagine it's changed much, but it might have. So, and that's the thing.
And we'll be able to tell that, this is what's going to go on and how it's going to be run. If it isn't going to be able to run properly on a decent budget and address all of the concerns, then we won't go forward with that.
Well, what I ask, instead of just a handful of people, such as a board like yourself that has control of something like the rest of our lives.
We don't. We only have control of bringing it to the voters.
Yeah.
I understand that, but what if the voters voted in? What happens to me? That has been living in this parish for all this time.
Well, and understand though, it's not necessarily going to go to the voters. It's going to go to the board. We're just opening a dialogue to understand that.
I understand that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's all we're doing tonight.
My question is, so what? That's not that was the one chemical they used in that one aerial spraying. That's not what they.
No, sir.
That's what they use every time.
Yes, sir. That was the same chemical they used it in the trucks.
So what was it called?
The chemical that was used that affected me is called Diamond.
Yeah.
It's an organophosphate.
Organophosphate?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think it works on the proteins of the mosquitoes. The way that works. Blocks something in them so they can't reproduce, and it kills off.
I just want you to understand. I'm with you on it. I just want, if they're going to sell it to us, I want to sit in the room and understand, explain to me by scientists and people who this is what's different. If they're going to say, well, nothing's different, it's the same. No, and just because it's, I'm not sure it works that well, and
we live in a parish
and people have said no.
Ways.
Yeah,
this whole parish is a swamp.
So
That's right.
I want you to know that I'm more on your side than you think. But I'm just speaking for myself. So I can't. Right. But I do want to know. I want someone to say, no, this is what's different, because and even then it's going to have to be, for no other reason, it's going to have to be hugely different than it was in order for no other to go to the people and say, look, I know you voted no twice on this in recent history, but this is what's changed, and do you want to look at it again? But I have in my mind that it hasn't changed much, but I am willing to hear the discussion on it, and that's really all the board is about.
Yes,
opening a dialogue, and those will be public. Those will be public, so you'll be able to come to those.
Any other instances of the same thing happening to other people?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I've also found, as far as animals.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, I don't know which councilman here is from French Settlement area. I really hate to give out a name, but I know a gentleman there that he said during the same time that I was sick, there was an outbreak of a virus. It was like a sickness of the air. If I gave you, after the meeting, I'll talk to you privately if you don't mind.
Yeah.
That's several, it was over 30-something people there were extremely sick. It was like a virus, like they thought it was cold, flu, pneumonia kind of thing. And, but they couldn't pinpoint it. Nobody could.
They didn't know what to look for.
They didn't know what to look for, and that's the problem with it. It can affect people in different ways. If they're highly allergic to it, if they're not. You know, it all depends on their toxicity.
Well, I would think there's many, many different things that they can spray for mosquitoes.
Right.
So we want to find out and go through all of them and see what.
You were talking about the chickens.
Yeah.
In our area alone, just on the road that I live on, everybody down our road lost animals. Everybody. And I'm talking from south of the interstate all the way to north of 190.
I think maybe that might have been a case where it didn't get diluted like people.
What kind of animals were they losing mainly?
Well, we had 84 chickens. We lost all of ours, and what they did is they went paralyzed and died. Which I had if you look at if y'all pull up the NSDS on that chemical, I had every side effect when I was in the hospital, and from hence on, I have had every side effect except for death. And that's what the doctor told my husband. He said, I don't know how she lived. He said, because they almost put a pacemaker in me when I was in the hospital. I've had every side effect but death. He said, but that's what happens to the chickens. Honeybees, anybody that harvested honeybees, there was a lady on the road that harvested honeybees. They would fly through there and just drop dead. It kills the honeybees. Horses went blind.
It's very indiscriminate when they aerial spray. I don't believe in aerial spraying like that unless you're spraying a secluded water body back in, like,
away from
people.
Well, the truth is
they got pellets for that.
I don't know if it really would matter if it was aerial sprayed or sprayed in the truck.
Well, I know we have a gentleman that lives on
I wouldn't want my kids breathing it, but going back to what Tracy said and what y'all said, I would like to also say that I want the people that I represent to know that I am in no means in support of passing no new tax or no new fees or anything like that to bring back mosquito abatement. The board was formed, and if we wouldn't have formed it, you never would have came up here and explained all these horrible things. The board was really formed so we could do our research and we could educate ourselves, and we all talked about if we could safely implement some type of mosquito killer that would protect us and make our world we live in better, and we could do it at a low cost to the public, then possibly, we never even agreed to that, then possibly we would talk about bringing it before the people to bring it back. But I mean, I remember the day I was in Holden High School gym. Me and her went to school together. She was a year older than me. There was a long time period that I didn't go to a lot of Holden High School games. And one day I went to a Holden High School game, and Michelle come walking in, and I said to myself, oh my God, what happened to Michelle? And then some people told me what happened, and it's hard for me to believe that was a possibility. But Scooter, getting back to the aerial spray, we talked about, I didn't know the aerial sprayed in Livingston Parish.
They didn't until that very end thing. I don't know how that came about. It was when they were running out of money and they wanted to use the last bit up. They said, we're going to try and bomb the whole area and kill as many mosquitoes as we can while we're going out.
There are some
That's what they did.
There are some people in Livingston Parish that want to bring back mosquito bait.
Well, they are. We would find that out.
Well, and it's active in 3 municipalities right now.
Right.
Yeah, so they're spraying in 3 areas now.
But I think we all know that Livingston Parish is very rural. I think we all know that it will cost a fortune to probably spray the whole entire parish.
Well, we won't know any of that until we get
all
into
those types of things, we don't
That's
even
why
know
we won't get into it.
what we're doing without forming a board and
That's
just
right.
simply educating us. And forming this board did not, it didn't put anything on the ballot.
No.
It didn't say that we all supported it. It simply meant that we all wanted to represent our district and be educated and discuss it to see if we thought it was good for the people of Livingston Parish.
See, our area, me and at least Frog, John and Bo, our area is not a rural area anymore. Some of it. but very little anymore. It's almost full up. And I get asked almost on a weekly basis, when are y'all gonna, we can't sit outside. What is the problem here? Why are y'all not protecting us? So we just want to make sure that it's possible to do it the right way and not harm people while we're doing it.
I kept referring to this as Diabomb. Is that diazonon?
Well, it's Diabon.
How do you spell that? I can't find that.
Well, I mean, diazonon was the main agent. It was banned in 2005 by the Clinton administration. So I'm just.
You were looking for it, Chris?
Yeah. I was supposed to start with a D.
I got diazonon.
It's okay.
If you look,
But we are going to look, so it's not.
Of course, me and mosquito babies, there is a city law because of all that.
Yeah.
You can look it up. I mean, it's public knowledge. Everything's in there, all the words, everything you need to see on that chemical is all brought in there. But I can tell y'all, not, you know, and I appreciate everybody that wants to talk about it and all that, but I will, if y'all don't mind, I will be at every meeting that has to do with
Absolutely.
this stuff.
We welcome you.
Theoretically, the meeting's going to be the second Thursday of every month, so like before this council meeting.
And that's what the meetings are for.
Yes, sir.
They're for you, so.
Exactly what you said. Learn the science.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I can tell you that's what it is for me, to understand what.
I think we all want to learn more about it.
Right.
Everybody.
Well, my concern is that we've got two main viruses that are affecting the human species right now that are spread by mosquitoes. Zika, for one, is not prevalent in the U.S., but they're saying it's coming really hard. Okay, I see those babies, and I also see, can we head that off? There's going to be more than these two viruses that are coming. It's just going to be a matter of time.
Well,
but that's
what we'll discuss.
That's what
Thank
we'll
you.
discuss. We want to get all the facts, get the science, and then we'll go, well, guys, this doesn't make sense, or this is perfect sense if it's done correctly. We don't know. That's what we want to find out.
And if y'all like, I don't mind dropping off it to whoever the parish president's office or whatever. I can bring y'all all the information y'all need on the chemicals.
You can bring them right to our council.
I will do that.
Ladies here at the
Look
chamber.
over as much as y'all want.
We would appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I sure will.
We appreciate you coming out. Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle.
Okay.
All right. Anything further? Yes, sir.
Did he? It's Mike.
Hard for me to see that. Anyway, one thing.
I'm sorry, state your name and your record.
Mike Osborne, I'm her father.
Okay.
But one thing that the council must do, if they implement this thing, which I'm hoping they don't, but if by chance it ever gets implemented, you better train these people. They don't have a clue how to do this. I watched it.
Yeah, the next batch will, or they won't be working for
You
this.
tell me, do you know anything about MSDS sheets?
Yes.
All right, what's the responsibility of it?
They're supposed to inform the people in the employees
Okay.
of what's it, yeah.
It tells you exactly how you're supposed to dress, how you're supposed to handle these chemicals. We watch these
What
people
reactivity and
spraying
everything.
out of the trucks in shorts and tank tops.
There were definite problems with the past
Can't do that.
abatement program.
You're supposed to be dressed in protective gear from head to toe. And we watch this all the time. The people that came and talked to us about this from the parish, when this first happened, the man stood right there and said, you can't go by the MSDS sheets. That's just standards. That's bull crap.
That's what it's for.
I've been dealing with MSDS sheets all my life. You work in these plants, he'll tell you, you better follow them. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
To the T.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
And he just blew it off and said, oh, it's just standard.
We understand it, Mr. Mike, and that's why we wanted to make us the board if we were gonna form a board.
Right.
Because we're in our districts individually all across, where some are really rural, some are very, urban, I guess.
Well, I understand the situation too.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what's going on with it, but like I say, it's been hard for me to sit here and watch
I
this
guarantee
last
it's hard.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I understand.
We won't do it
need to train the people.
lightheartedly. We're gonna do this correctly.
If it's ever implemented,
If it ever
make sure you train the people, because
Yes,
they're
sir.
definitely not trained.
Well, I appreciate y'all
Yes, sir.
coming up.
One other thing too,
Appreciate
sir.
y'all coming up and drawing our attention to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike,
One other thing too is,
Yes, sir.
I've seen this with my own eyes. They'd be spraying it out of the truck. It would be storming. What good does it do to start off with?
not in.
You know, and I asked my wife, I said, I can't believe, what are they doing? She said, they're spraying. I said, it's so stupid, and the waste of the money, chemicals, or whatever. It didn't.
Back to what you were talking about the aerial spray. The only reason it got like it did then, because they were getting rid of it.
Yeah, they were they were blowing it out.
They just
Yeah.
dumped it, wasn't mine. And it wasn't mixed properly.
I couldn't believe they were coming over. They were right over the tree line over my property. Several passes. It wasn't just one.
And it wasn't mixed properly.
Right.
They were just
I
getting rid
imagine.
of it because they was shutting it down.
Well, that's the kind of thing, the training, and the proper person leading the charge as the director of this thing will help that.
Because up until that point, they never had any problem.
Yeah, right.
Never had a problem until they decided to dump it. Here you go.
But the important thing is realize that we're just forming
Just
a board.
starting the board, yeah, and we're
I
gonna
mean,
get to
That's good. Maybe y'all
Yeah.
can figure it out.
we're gonna try our very
Just stay
best.
away from organophosphate. This is bad.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
There's over
sir.
100,000 cases documented per year against across the United States.
Okay,
Thank you.
good to know.
Anything further,
Appreciate it.
anything further from the audience? Public hearing is now closed. Anything further from the council?
I got something to say.
Oh, my goodness.
Say it, John.
Look, this is the very reason I caution this board from moving so fast. I'm actually reading the ordinance that y'all wanting to adopt tonight. It says that the Board of Commissioners, which would be the Mosquito Abatement Board, will have the authority to budget, hire, operate, purchase, maintain, grants for issue bonds as needed, operate, levy special taxes against the people, for the control district to finance its programs. We're giving this board a power to use legal, proper, necessary, expedient means to collect and enforce collections of such taxes, including contracting with waterworks and districts located within the same parish to collect monthly service charges. And the next little part says that any and all resolutions or ordinances that conflict herewith be and the same are hereby repealed and rescinded. You're given a lot of authority to a mosquito abatement board. That's why I think I ask that we go slow on this. And I want to understand this. Make no mistake, if you vote to move forward with the board, you are voting to move forward with mosquito abatement in this parish.
Yes, but
so,
if you
hold
don't...
on, I'm not finished talking. Mr. Chairman. And what I want to say is this. If you want to get information, you can gather information before we establish a board. If the people who are for it get a committee together, go get the information and bring it to this council, who is the governing authority for this board, and let us make the decision as a board. And because there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and this is just one of a lot more people in this parish that do not want mosquito abatement. They have voted twice against it. I'm asking you tonight to vote no, to move forward, to vote no on this committee so we can stop this thing, and if we want to go slow and research it, that's fine. But if you keep moving forward, it's going to be here and it's going to be on this parish without people's decision. So that's my thought.
The whole purpose of this board is to make it a body of us 9 who would make every decision whether we approve it or disapprove it.
We don't have to have a commission to do that.
We're going to make public hearings are going to be put forth before the people.
That's
We're
in
going to
all the
follow
time.
all sunshine laws. No, if you're an unofficial deal and you're just doing fact finding, then the sunshine laws don't apply. We're going to post things and so that the people of this parish have the opportunity to know we're discussing it and can come voice their opinion. The only way that the people are going to know when we're having a meeting and so that they can come voice their opinion is if it be posted, be scheduled at a regular time every month.
Okay.
And so the whole purpose of putting this thing together is to give the people the opportunity to know when it's being held so they can come voice their opinion and tell us what they think.
And that's moving forward with the mosquito abatement in this
No, it's
parish.
not.
No, it's
Okay,
it's
go
not.
ahead. Go ahead if you want. I'm just
Go ahead.
telling you.
This question is for Mr. Moody. A vote no tonight, and if majority voted yes, the board would be formed and all of the council members involved would be a board member? Or if you vote no, then you're not on the board? What are we saying here?
Well, no, it has to pass by majority vote, but if you set it up so that the council is the board, then all board members, even voting no, would serve.
I mean, and it really, it comes down to this. Do you just categorically don't want to bring it back, period, or do you want to get educated on where we're at right now?
I want to be educated.
And then, if you want to get educated on it as a group and in a public manner, then you got to vote for this board.
Because we can't just go
If you
meet
don't-
nine of us somewhere, that's against the law.
If you don't,
It's the same thing as mosquito board.
no, it's.
No, it's not, it's our day.
See, I take exception to that, Mr. Wascom, because I'm not really for this either. But I'm not really for mosquito abatement. But I do think forming the board is a way for me to go, okay, now I'm educated on it, I'm up to date. Yes, I want it, no, I don't want it. Or yes, I'm willing to put it before the people, no, I'm not. Because you're right. Indeed, you are correct. We've put it before them twice. So for no other reason, I'm inclined to vote no for that reason and that reason alone.
That's 2 votes.
But having said that, I'm not afraid to put a board together so I can find out.
Board.
Let's call for the vote.
We will be the vote.
You call the question?
I'll make a motion.
I got one thing. I want to ask.
Yep.
Oh, John?
They said
Where do you live?
I thought it closed.
I did.
5227.
I bet I'm in discussion, so. All right,
What
anyway.
does the city have there?
You know, I hadn't spoken with them lately. I really don't know if they do. They used to spray. I don't know if they do now. I don't really know. Do you sure? Oh, well, you know more about my city than I do. Yeah. And I don't. I haven't never seen any trucks go by.
They spray.
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second.
I don't mind.
Motion by Mr. Talbot, second by Mr. Avery.
Okay.
We're going to call the
But I will find out.
Call the vote on this.
Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Call?
Mr. Wascom?
No.
Mr. Garlinghouse?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Talbot?
Yes.
Mr. Lobel?
Yes.
Mr. Avery?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
No.
And the reason I
Welcome to
voted
the
yes.
With Kevin.
No, yeah, but no.
Hey, Tracy, come
The
right
reason
there
I
with you.
voted.
Just to be clear one more time, we did not just approve mosquito abatement.
No.
Absolutely not.
I want to.
One step forward.
More facts on
Of
it.
course it is.
Well, ma'am, if the responsibility is too heavy for you, man, it's too much.
You can appoint someone if you'd rather not do it.
You don't have to come. You don't have to come to me.
Look, I'm gonna be here to-
If you're educated more than you can handle, don't come.
Look,
And I
Don't
like the
represent your
fact
go
that
ahead if you want.
Item 24,
and they can all show up.
item 24, discuss
That's right,
upcoming
it'll
trick
be
or treat.
announced in- Oh, excuse us,
It's
sir.
okay,
You talking?
I am.
I'm sorry.
Item 24, discuss upcoming truck or treat event, October 31st, 2017. Mr. R.C. Bubba Harris.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I don't have it tonight and one more meeting to talk about this. And I know y'all be glad when it's over with.
No, man, we'll do it again next year.
I'm so glad to move on to trunk or treat right now. so.
Absolutely.
Well, the thing is,
You might get them to spray out to the floor.
this was brought about from the flood. And last year, whenever the children didn't have a place to go trick or treat, and we came up with the trunk or treat. And it worked out so well that the parents actually called me this time and wanted to go with it again this year. So we're with it, we're working on it. Only thing is, I need more volunteers.
I ain't coming.
We got our own trunk or treat thing going on out
Hey,
But
we're
you
not
people on
doing
the
it.
east can do whatever you want.
We're not, no, we're not doing it to try to take anything away from anybody. I know a lot of churches have their own little trick or treat thing, you know, and different organizations have that. This is something to help the children that didn't have a place to go, and it's right there in their area or whatever. And it'll be a good thing for them.
Good safe place.
Scooter told me it'd only go if it was at North Park, he told me.
Well, no, you're gonna call and get the city to go spray down there for mosquitoes before we had that thing, right? Because I think it'd be a good idea.
Thank you,
go down
Mr.
there and get eat up.
I'll tell you what.
Mr. Moody, do you
I'll
have
take
anything?
my sprayer down there and spray it.
I got one.
Nothing for Mr. Moody to report?
No, possibly, whatever.
26, committee reports. Mr. Mack, anything from the ordinance committee?
It is.
Of course.
I just want to apologize to all the citizens of Livingston Parish and this council. Last Thursday night, we had an ordinance committee meeting, a very important ordinance committee meeting scheduled, and we had to cancel because we were afraid that this hurricane was going to bust us.
And don't be afraid.
But it wound up being minor, and but you don't know ahead of time, and we wanted to prepare in advance, so we canceled the meeting. But
I lost a board on my pier.
and I understand if the members can't come, and I just want to try to start getting a few things done. So I thought what would be a good idea, hopefully y'all think so, is if we could start having routine scheduled meetings. And I'm off every other Friday. So I would like to meet every other Friday at 10 o'clock.
You do realize
Starting October the
12th?
20th is Friday. Is that true?
Yes.
Anybody?
It is.
October the 20th. But if we don't have a quorum, it's okay. I just want to
Just so you
invite the
can
public.
discuss.
I want to come up here and I want to work on the things that needs to be worked on. And if you can't make it,
It's okay?
it's okay.
No,
But I think there are some things that need to be done.
It looks like I'm in a meeting somewhere every night.
Oh, man, talk about it, huh?
That was one of the reasons why I was thinking about we might not be some mosquito thing, man.
And-
I'm having trouble keeping up with what we got already.
Well, that's all right. You don't need to come. You
My
won't be
thing
educated.
is, I wish we could
I ain't
have
gonna tell the
these
side without-
ordinance committee meetings the same week as we have a regular meeting.
If you just have an hour before, I know you can
That forces you to be done by 6. So,
I tried that, man. It didn't work out too good, did it, Gary? I mean, we got about one thing done.
But that was one thing done.
Yeah.
Do one each time.
The issue is we got finance committees on the 3rd, on the 4th, it's Tuesday. It looks like mosquito baby will be on the 2nd Tuesday, and so it just,
We just need.
what about
to start
finance?
with 3
Finance
meetings
got
a month.
anything?
Finance gonna meet, next,
Wednesday, for 2 weeks.
next Wednesday, 5:30.
All right. Anything else?
Yes, Councilman comments?
Yes.
Everybody needs, if you hadn't voted absentee, get out and vote the weekend, Saturday. Well, that's up to you.
I'm coming back to vote, but I'm going to.
You know, it's just important to get out and vote on it.
It is, absolutely. Glad you brought that up,
Local
yeah.
elections, everything, you know?
For the good of our children, the school tax especially, guys.
And I've been getting, I'm sorry for cutting in. I've been getting a lot of people ask me if the gravity drainage taxes are on this October ballot, and the answer is no. The gravity drainage districts taxes, the funds to fund that, gravity drainage districts is November the 18th ballot. So just want to let everybody in Livingston Parish know it's not the October ballot.
Mr. Ard?
I want to remind everybody that the Livingston Fair is going on right now. It'll be open this weekend.
Oh yes, my little boy wants to go. All right.
And I think there was a girl from Live Oak, one rodeo queen last night.
Oh, yeah, they said that.
Good job.
It's the same thing as the
Dylan jersey.
everybody too.
I'm not even coming.
The council meeting, I just remind the public and everyone that has been moved from Thursday, the 26th, to Wednesday, the 25th of this month, in order to allow the viewing of a football game.
I thought that was the one y'all was moving to.
That's the next one.
Walker's winning 7-0 right now. That's what I'm talking about right there. All right then. Bel Air.
I hope it just started.
That's harsh. That's harsh words from a guy wearing a denim jersey.
I'd like to make a motion.
Speaking of things, we're not gonna have another council meeting before Walker. Is there any way that we'll be playing on that Walker Live Oak game?
I can't.
You can't.
I don't vote against my family.
No.
Only do bets that involve my family.
That's weak, that was weak.
I just ain't that brave. I'm just not that brave. I'll go ahead and tell you I'm not that brave.
I'm willing to go on the line of Live Oak jersey versus Walker jersey in the next
I
council
don't know
meeting.
which way to go. My son goes a lot.
Done.
And a girl.
How good is Walker, buddy? How good is Walker?
Done.
They gonna beat Live Oak?
I don't have a problem wearing a Live Oak jersey.
Just not done.
Gary, you may have a
Right. I can't wear a denim jersey.
Gary got his bet.
Ever.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Jeff Hard, second by Jeff Averitt. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?